Char.
Alrighty, so we made the executive decision, and by that I mean I was outvoted, to shelve Warhammer for now and to try D&D, which we planned once upon a time, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So we're gonna be working out all the remaining details about our characters, and of course we have our wonderful list of players. Some of us are complete noobs, some of us are just bad, and our wonderful storyteller, Epic, who is, I assume, mildly competent. So, Epic, tell us a little more about what you plan to do to our bodies.
Well, this session is more or less just going to be trying to get people acquainted with, exactly what's what in D&D, what's capable of this, what's capable of that, what could be good here, and getting you guys formed up into a semi-decent party.
I mean,
Yeah.
Letting you make informed decisions is what I will decide to call this.
yeah, cause decent party, I'm just looking at Steel's avatar, which is still as disgusting as the first day I saw it, and I'm having doubts. Flashbacks to Demi's last session of VTM.
I mean, at least Jakar is not securing the chantry now.
Give him
That's
time,
always
he'll
nice.
build a temple and secure it.
So, I suppose the first thing to understand for anyone that hasn't really gone through the book yet, are just going to start rolling down these and start, just talking about them. So that people understand what the average attribute is, I'm presuming most of you are smart enough to somewhat understand what strength, dexterity, things like that might mean. Unless
Why
you want me
don't
to
you
go
talk
over
Steve
those
about that?
specifically.
Mildly. We mildly familiar.
Okay. You know what? Maybe I should go through those as well. But first of all, to understand what is a standard amount and what is not, uh, 10, about 10 is what is considered average for a human being. Congratulations, there's the first part.
Wait,
After
are you
that,
saying that I'm more stupid than a human?
yes.
You're
Good.
not stupid, you think in simpler terms and you cut through the clutter that fills up their lives to the core of the matter. Don't let them get you down, okay? Now let me do the talking.
Exactly. Let's see. There's that test part, which is good. I'm glad I set that up. So yeah, I'll just go through Korgak real quick. Korgak, you're at 17 strength. You are a fucking monster. Good job.
Yay.
Yes. Yeah. You have the equivalent strength of, several different monsters, including large sharks. Large sharks. But to go through these really quick, the different little attributes is strength. This will determine most melee attack rolls, the damage rolls, more of the physical kind of skills, things like that. It's also probably the one that's called on the most of anything for just, a regular roll, just pure strength. It's often rolled for trying to break things, tear off a door, break your bonds, things like that. Dexterity determines how well you can attack with ranged attacks. It also provides your dexterity bonus to, armor class, which can be negated in certain circumstances. Then it also helps with reflex saving throws and covers the rest of the physical skills. After that is Constitution, which determines how much, hit points you get per level. Helps you with your fortitude saving throws, and also helps you with concentration checks, which is really important for certain spellcasters. Most spellcasters.
Don't worry, I put my 17 in there. It's fine.
Intelligence is what is usually used for quite a few different spellcasters later on. Although for the first book, it's only the wizard, I think, that uses intelligence.
Yep. Everyone else
Pretty
uses
sure that's right,
charisma.
yeah.
Was...
It determines the number of languages you start with, as well as the number of skill points you get every level, and is used for a lot of the... Anything that isn't a social or physical thing usually uses intelligence. So, yeah. Then we go on to wisdom. And intelligence is really important for spellcasters because it determines both how many bonus spells you get and how many, how hard it is to resist your spells.
For those who use int for.
Yes. Wizards, particularly.
Fuck wizards.
And
Fucking pawns.
then we have wisdom, which determines your will saving throw. Helps you with things like healing, making your spot checks, more of just perceiving things, more or less. Besides that, it also can determine, for the majority of the classes, I think, actually, it determines how powerful their spells are and how, hard to resist and how their bonus spells work. Then we have charisma, which is your entire social stat. That's all you got. It has all of your various social bits, as well as, it's what you usually use to check if you're talking well, things like that. And it's very important for the last of the ones that use spells, as well as just clerics and paladins. Paladins love these. Such because it helps their turning checks. Clerics love these because it's also... Oh, wait, no, they do wisdom. But for spells, sorcerers and bards, they're the ones that use charisma for how easy they are to resist on others and how many bonus spells they get. That's the basics of the ability scores. Any questions?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Then I
trying to
suppose
kill some of the shit running in the background for a good part of that, so I spaced out, but I'm sure I didn't miss anything important.
Probably not. That was just in case anyone had any questions about it. So, now we're going to go on to the races. I've noticed there is a lot of humans, a half-orc, and a half-elf, as all of these.
Almost like me.
So, humans are really basic. It's very, very simple what they
Did
get.
you just call me a basic bitch?
Yes, humans are basic bitches. Get used to it.
We're also slightly obese, so there's that.
Human master race.
It depends, actually, on how you view OPness, because, an extra feat is amazing, but extra attribute points is pretty intense. And they don't get any other particular special skills, they just get more, skill points. So there's a good debate. One of the most powerful aspects of it really is the favored class, any. But half elves get that too. So, but yeah, so humans get an extra feat. They get more or less a total of an extra skill they can pump to max. Other than that, they don't really have anything. They don't get a bonus language. They just start with one common. They can learn any other languages generally, but yeah, that's about all there is to them. Ugh. And here's the dwarves, which have a real. One could really easily state that they were very, very highly put.
Dwarves are good, yeah.
So, dwarves get +2 constitution, -2 charisma. They're considered a medium creature. They move at 20 feet. That's 10 feet less than usual, but they also don't take penalties from, say, armor or encumbrance generally. So,
Ooh.
yeah, it doesn't really care about, wearing armor. They're the same speed anyway. They have dark vision, stone cunning, which gives them, bonuses to searching things. But more importantly than that, I am required, if you are a dwarf and you pass a secret door, to give you a hidden search roll. Yeah, that's a thing.
On the first day of autumn, the keyhole will become visible. My senses are tingling.
Yeah, dwarves get automatic weapon familiarity with dwarven weapons, treating them as martial instead of exotic. They have stability, which makes them really hard to actually, slam into the ground and such. They are resistant to poisons. They get +2 saving roll on spells and spell-like abilities because they are innately resistant. +1 racial bonus on attack rolls against orcs, including half-orcs and goblinoids. +4 dodge bonus to armor class against creatures of giant type. +2 racial bonus to appraise. +2 racial bonus to craft. Favored class fighter. Ugh.
Jesus, fuck, they are loaded.
Yeah,
right.
they're kind of fucking loaded.
Oof.
Then we go on to elves. Elves are just straight up immune to magic sleep effects and have a +2 saving throw against enchantment spells or effects. There's actually not too many of those, surprisingly, but hey. They have low light vision, not dark vision. This is important to note because I suppose I should hurry up and just explain the difference here. Dark vision lets you see regardless of light, and low light vision just doubles your amount of sight, more or less. From like fires and such.
Mhm.
So it's not bad, but one of the bigger things is that with dark vision, you cannot distinguish color or detail in dark. So you can't read a book with dark vision.
The joke is that I can't read.
Yep. They get certain weapon proficiencies, whatever, don't matter much. They are good at checking things out. And, yep, and, so an elf who goes past a secret or concealed door is entitled to search check to notice it as if she were actively looking for it. This is different from the dwarves because the dwarves get it if it's a trap or secret door in stone. Elves just get it for secret doors and shit.
Hide and senses.
They also have automatic languages, common elven. They have the favored class, wizard. There. Done. On to the gnomes. Gnomes have +2 constitution, -2 strength. They are considered small creatures, which is good. Generally, the smaller you are, the better. Cheaper your shit
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the less your damage output generally is. So, hey.
What can you do?
Stuff. But gnome baseline speed is 20 feet. Again, kind of like a dwarf. Except they do still get hit by armor and shit. So, no heavy armor for you. Unless you want to
Also,
go
like,
super slow. They have low light vision. They have the weapon familiarity with gnome hooked hammers. Let's see. Saving throws versus illusions, they get +2. and they are particularly good at casting illusion spells. They hate kobolds and goblins, so they get +1 racial bonus to attack rolls, +4 dodge bonus against giant type, just like dwarves. They get listen checks and craft alchemy checks, and unlike the others so far, they get a special thing called spell-like abilities, which allows them to, once per day, speak with animals, burrowing mammal only, duration 1 minute. And a gnome
Disgusting.
with a charisma score of at least 10 gains once per day dancing lights, ghost sound, and prestidigitation. Their favorite class is bard.
I know.
So then we go on to half elves, which basically mostly just take away some of the bonuses from elves, and they are considered, you know, more or less the same, except they don't have particular penalties or the bonus. So they don't affect their attributes, basically. That's the main difference. Besides that, they are better with diplomacy and gather information. So half orcs, well, half orcs get the worst of the traits. They get +2 strength, but -2 intelligence and a -2 charisma. What do they get in exchange for this? Jack shit. They have dark vision. That's all they are. Otherwise, they're pretty normal.
Game hates orcs. Confirmed.
Then we go on to the halflings. And the halflings generally, they get +1 racial bonus on all saving throws. It's not bad. They get, can move around easily. They are considered small with all the stuff that comes with. Have +2 dexterity, -2 strength. They have a +2 morale bonus on saving throws against fear. And then they have a +1 racial bonus on attack rolls with a thrown weapon and slings. Not bad.
Epic. Craft wanted
Yep.
me to inform you that you're a racist piece of shit and half orcs are people too.
Okay, let's put it this way. Half orcs got shafted.
Thank you.
Really hard.
Did you not
Typical.
listen to all their bonuses they got? They got +2 strength.
Yeah.
Probably because the books want you to be the good guys, and how orcs are usually evil and assholes.
You'd be wrong, but hey. Let's see. So +2 racial bonus on listen checks. They have a common and halfling. They have a favorite class of rogue. Da-da-da. And that was all of the races. Does everyone understand what the races are and what was good and what was bad?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't
More so.
worry, half orcs are still good, but they are heavily relying on a really high strength score to come out anywhere particular.
More.
Then the next part is classes. And this part, we are actually going to more or less go through what the classes you guys want to be particularly. Who wants to start off?
I can go first.
Me.
Roll
All
off.
right. I really don't care. I'm just gonna start off with you guys so you guys can understand. This guy is this. This guy is this. I love that. There we go. This is so you guys can understand. You are capable of this. You are capable of this. That kind of shit. And we can particularly talk about how things work in these classes that you are choosing. So what were you, Chris?
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Da, 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 da. Right. There's Ranger. Sorcerer. Okay. So sorcerer is one of the primary spellcasting classes. Your particular thing is that you get to cast spells a lot. Your bad thing is you can only choose a far less amount of spells than, say, a wizard. But you also don't actually have to prepare them or anything either. You can cast the same spell again and again and again. You don't give a shit about preparing them. They just get reset on your spell slots.
Long seconds.
You can start fires almost guaranteed, especially if you took Flaming Hands or Flame on Hands, whatever the hell it was called.
I did take Burning Hands, yes.
Burning Hands, that's what it was called. All right. So your particular thing is that you need to have a high charisma. It's what determines your bonus spells, how hard they are to resist if they, allow a resistance roll. Shit like that.
Yeah, I'm good to
Of
go.
the things that are important for you to know, you really want concentration. Besides that, you should be good otherwise. Whatever you really want to do. Spellcraft is never bad. Knowledge Arcana is pretty good. Bluff is awesome.
Yep, all things that I already took at my
Yep.
points.
So, here's how many spells you know, and as far as I know, there's only a few ways to affect this, and they don't have anything to do with almost anything you can do initially. I think there was one feat available to you that you could take, but I think it was wizards only that could take it. So I don't think that's
Metamagic?
applicable to you. But you have 4 0-level spells, what are known as cantrips in this game, and 2 first-level spells. Have you decided on those already?
I have a idea, but it's something I might want to discuss in more detail because it's, I'm a scrub at this.
Yeah, we'll totally go through those in just a moment because we're going to go over your familiar first, then we'll come back to that in a moment. So, as a sorcerer, you gain a familiar. You will just start with one.
So I don't have to pay the summoning, whatever it was.
Yeah, you don't pay that for your first one. At least I'm not going to require you to. That seems dumb. But if you lose it or want to change it or anything like that, yeah, sure.
Thinking the snake for even more bluff.
Probably a good idea. I agree.
Also kind of fits. For some
Yep.
reason, it feels right,
Sure. But yeah, for your first one, I'll totally just let you go ahead and start with one.
Where
Help you
would
out.
I put the familiar then?
There's supposed to be a page real quick. Plain or dismissed. Where's your familiar page here? You're supposed to have one.
No, I don't.
Tell you what you can do. I know all that. Servant, choose defensive level. His familiar also increases in power. Where was that part about the familiar? There we go. It's right above it, of course. Stupid thing. Okay. So let's see. Be equals master, spell resistance. Yeah, all those. Come on. Where's the different familiars you can have? Right up here.
Right. No, those I
Here we
already
go.
found.
So, snake. That would give you a +3 bonus on bluff checks. That's what you want?
Yeah, think so.
Do note that snake is generally pretty slow, etc. Using it as a scout is less likely, but it usually has a pretty good bite and probably has poison.
It's completely harmless, guys.
I'll definitely check up on it just to make sure, because I'm positive it's somewhere in here. Let's see. You know what? You can pick that up over here. You probably need to make a new. I probably need to give you a small character sheet for it.
I'm gonna add it to the bluff as a miscellaneous bonus then.
Yep, that's fine.
Plus 11 to
So
bluff.
let's see.
I feel like
Yep.
I've won.
Yeah. With a tiny viper, which is what you get with a snake, it does have a poison, which is, it deals 1d6 con damage and stuff like that. Generally really easy to avoid, so won't usually kill people, but it has a chance. So if you want, I can add that in right now.
And I doubt it's... I mean, I might need to kill someone's baby heir or something at some point, but that's for later.
Yep. I mean, part of why it's important to do so is actually mostly because it has an empathic link with you and can share spells. So if you needed it to slither through a wall or a doorway and cast burning hands inside the room, you could technically do that.
That kicks in later, though.
Yeah.
Based on some of the tables, right?
Yeah. Share spells was just letting you cast it on itself. Let me double check what share spells did. May have any spell, but not any spell-like ability cast on itself. Also effect is familiar. Okay, so that's just if you get a buff, you can buff your snake as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, if you want, I can make you a quick sheet, or we can just leave that for later.
Yeah, this doesn't matter right now.
Okay. Then let's go off to spells. Also, what's your charisma bonus?
+4. I put the 18
Plus
in
4
there.
total? Alright. So you do definitely gain a bonus spell. If I remember correctly.
Yes, a level 1, I've already added it in.
Yeah.
To
If I remember correctly, the way that sorcerer works is it's just an extra spell use, right?
Yeah, it's an extra use.
Yep. You don't learn a new spell or anything. Oh, did I forget something? I might have forgotten some. One moment, let's read over your spells real quick. Because I am suddenly recalling that you might get an extra amount of level 1 spells based on your initial int at character creation.
No, you don't think
That's
so.
his...
That's only level 1 spells.
Yeah, level 1 spells. That's what I'm talking about.
It's level 0 spells.
No. So he would start with, let's see. Base, given bonus spells per day if he has a charisma. Sorcerer begins play with knowing 2 spells known. Okay. No, those are completely fixed. Alright. So yeah, I was thinking wizard. That's what I was thinking. A wizard can gain memorization, if I remember right, of level 1 spells equal to their int modifier. So they would know quite a few different level 1 spells with the +4, but you just gain an extra use.
Sadness. Oh well.
Sorry. It's alright. I just remembered that because I was like, wait a moment. Only 2? I'm used to like wizards and stuff. They have like 4 or 5.
Oh, I'm not gonna change it now.
No problem. Alright, off to the spells. Don't care about any of you.
So, Burning
Do
Hands
it.
and Grease, I'm probably gonna be happy with. I'm not sure if some of the other cantrips might not be more.
Okay. So let's look around here. The things for first level, you went with Grease, which is generally awesome. Don't blame me for that.
I can switch them out start switching stuff out at level 4 anyway, so
Yep. You do still need to be somewhat careful. You can only do like 1 or 2 every time at 4 levels, but yep.
I think it was
So,
starting at level 4 and then every 2 levels for one spell.
something
That's
like
like at
that.
least 2 levels behind my.
It was something like that. Yep. So, let's see. I suppose I should just tell you right off the bat, color spray is pretty overpowered for the first 5 or 6 levels. After that, it's pretty weak as shit. And it loses steam pretty quick. But it is really powerful at low level. So I just feel like, you do deserve knowing that it is considered one of the most overpowered spells, but only for the first little while.
In theory, maybe, but I think Grease has a more, situational uses that can, apply it for all kinds of creative shit, whereas color spray is more in your face, so I might take it at level 2 instead.
It definitely is. I would definitely agree with you on it.
Or whenever I get
Personally,
another level
I
1.
never really went with color spray, but it is just, do want you to know that is particularly one of the most powerful ones.
In terms of cantrips, I was thinking or considering something like a Ghost Sound and Light as ones that might push something out of the list I currently have in there out.
What do you currently have on there?
Acid Splash, Mage Hand, Detect Magic, and Message.
Acid Splash is probably the best one for damaging, because acid eats stuff.
Also Trolls.
Message, it's useful, but not as useful as you generally think. Prestidigation is dependent on how smart you are, or rather, I should say, how creative you are. Mage Hand, also, just dependent on. Yep. Mage Hand is just dependent on how creative you are. Flare can sometimes be alright, but generally you'd like light. I would generally say
Like the idea with
personally,
Ghost Sound was essentially, again, for creative planning.
Yep. Usually if you do Ghost Sound, I would also recommend taking Prestidigation with it. If you're really trying to form things to make it look like something else. It's usually a pretty good combo, but
You know what? I might push out Message then. Prestidigitation. What can you do?
change colors, change taste, things like that. Very minor things that don't require rolls. But if used correctly,
Holy
can
crap,
lead
it
to interesting
lasts for a
things.
round. Yeah, I'm gonna swap out Message with Prestidigitation for sure. No, not fucking mending. Fuck you.
Mending is not bad, but I wouldn't take it for a spell, especially as a sorcerer. Light is really good if for some reason you guys ever really need a light.
Since
Quite literally.
prestidigitation can already move small objects in theory, if ever so slowly, maybe swap out Mage Hand for Ghost Sound then.
Yeah, that sounds like good to me.
Yeah, so why don't we do that? That seems like a pretty decent
So,
set, and detect magic and...
prestidigitation. You have prestidigitation, ghost sound, light, and
No, Acid Splash and detect magic for the last
acid splash and detect magic. Okay,
I think I want
I'll
to
leave
keep
those
both
two
of
up to you.
those.
All right. I will say, if I remember right, dancing lights is generally pretty good.
Yeah, but
But you can get it later if you want. It shouldn't be like too. So yeah. Let's see. Shocking Grasp, by the way, is really good against people in armor. Just telling you now, really good against people in armor. But it does have a max and all that, so
yeah,
I could
and
totally
I
understand not
figure we
taking
have
it.
a lot of people with single target damage, so I kind of have to
Yeah,
focus a bit
that's
more on
fine.
the AoE.
Let's see. That would make Burning Hands probably your best one for the starting off then. And Grease as another AoE is really good too. So, good choices if that's what you're going for.
Okay, in terms of skills, I get base of 2, +1 for int, and +1 for human, times 4 for
Yep,
the first level. So let me
that is
just double
correct.
check. One skill I've bumped, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, so that looks good. I still haven't
Alright.
picked my starting feats. I think I get 2,
Should
I
get 2.
think.
Correct.
So I was looking at the meta magic stuff. Anything that would be good at level 1? I was looking in particular at stuff like the range for the spell. So I
I
could
will
cast my
be
cantrips.
completely honest with you. Most meta magic feats aren't really worth it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sadly.
I will just warn you that generally using a feat on those is just not worth it because it increases the spell level, so you can't even use it right now.
I can use cantrip. I would be able to use cantrips with some of them.
Yes, but usually if you're not using a cantrip anymore if you do it. I'm just going to explain how a meta magic works.
Yes, I
If
would
you
be
use a
using a
cantrip and use
level
a
1
meta magic
slot.
feat. Yes.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay. I'm just warning you, it's really considered not good.
Where were the feats at? Again, they were before weapons, right?
Page 9.
You're looking at 90, well, yeah, they're part of feats. They're after, they're the last ones. Sorry, didn't know what you were asking for
How
a moment.
does combat casting work? I make a concentration check but avoid opportunity attacks, right? I think.
Yes. That is correct.
I think I might take combat casting for one of them. And where would I add my feats?
There's a spot on your
Ah,
That's
character sheet.
in stats under class abilities.
okay. Crafting meh. And for a second one.
So, something that might interest you is eschew materials.
I was just looking at that. It's a +1 level, but if I'm in a prison cell, it means I can still use my cantrips. Right?
Yep. It actually means you can use most of your spells, short of having an actual, something that would cost in them.
Oh, this doesn't up the level. This is just a general.
No, it's. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that. Being able to say,
It means
surprise,
you don't.
bitch.
Generally, what you would be required to get is a spell bag or something like that. It's a free action to go in it and grasp the item and everything, but you still require the bag and bringing out the item to use a spell. With eschew materials, all you need to worry about is things that actually cost money.
Oh my fucking god, I'm still gonna have one of those, just to completely blindside fucks.
Sure, it don't matter particularly.
Oh no, you've taken my spell components, I'm helpless.
Don't worry, they'll totally take it, totally expect you to, be more or less helpless without it. It won't work. So that's what you want to go for? Combat casting and eschew materials?
I think so.
I think that's pretty good for a spellcaster.
As a starting thing, these are things I'll probably want eventually anyway. So, yeah, why not?
Yep. Yeah, I'd consider that pretty good. Alright, does everyone understand what Chris is playing?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a sneaky fuck that goes and tries to blow people up.
In terms of saves, attack bonuses, etc., equipment, that kind of stuff.
Most of that should be calculated just fine, as long as you remembered what you're doing with, initially. As a sorcerer, your general thing was so no attack bonus and will saves +2.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is just based on characteristics.
Are there any melee weapons that I can use from the simple stuff that would actually use my dex bonus instead of strength?
Instead of strength.
Yeah, because my strength sucks.
For a simple weapon, using dex instead of strength. I
Stabity
can't
of some
think
kind?
of anything.
No? Well. Just...
Yeah. The only thing I think does that is the rapier.
And I
You
would
don't
need...
get that.
And I would need
That's
to
a martial
stand on a feat for those.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
I'm pretty sure the rapier let you do it that way, but I don't think anything else did in the starting book.
Yeah, fuck it then. I'm just gonna downgrade it. Oh, but I like the idea of just having kept a sickle that I stole on the way out.
Yep. There is the weapon finesse feat that you could take that would let you use your dex instead of strength modifier.
Nah, not worth.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Oh, the rapier required weapon finesse as well. So yeah, you'd have to take the weapon finesse feat. And that doesn't sound worth it, in my opinion. Don't worry, you start off really weak. As you go on, you start getting much stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Quadratic wizards. linear warriors.
Mhm. It's a thing.
I'm just gonna add in the weapons listings then for the stuff I considered, and I
Alright.
guess we want to go to the others, take the characters, and then we can go over the equipment on a
Sure.
second circle.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad, so everyone knows where more or less you guys need to be. Alright, who's next?
The others,
Me,
the other caster.
And what were you, Jack?
cleric.
You're going cleric. One of my favorite classes, actually.
It's fun.
Personal opinion. So clerics are kind of badass.
They are.
So clerics have weapon and armor proficiency. With all simple weapons, they can wear all types of armor and can even use shields.
Other than tower shields. My great
Yep.
sadness.
So you are a cleric of Weejoss, right?
Yes.
So do note that you probably want to have a dagger on you, as it is her It is her favored weapon.
What is the dagger in cost again?
It's pretty cheap. Um,
2 gold pieces.
yeah.
Sure.
You don't necessarily have to use it, but you can consider it, a form of worshiping Weejoss whenever you do. So if you go and cut a bitch's throat out, you just, you just help to fulfill your need to worship Weejoss.
Yep.
Besides that, yeah, we're gonna have to go over that really quick. Get to that in a moment when we go over domains. Clerics start with spells as well.
Mm-hmm.
They don't particularly have as many as, say, a sorcerer, or know as many as a wizard,
Yeah.
but they don't care about, things like armor interfering with it, and they have divine, and they have a +2 fort save, +2 will save. They also start with turn or rebuke undead, and they have an entirely different kind of, entirely different type of magic going on as well.
Yep. It's nice. I also get to know all
They
my
have an
spells.
aura, which is just dependent on your stuff. I'm presuming that you already read through that and know what
What
aura
did you
you
say?
have.
I didn't hear you.
You have an aura.
Yes, I have an aura. Aura
Yes,
of
you do know
lawful,
what kind of aura you have, right?
lawful, right?
Yep, you should have lawful if you're lawful neutral.
Yep.
That's disgusting.
So, well, there's no easy way to get around this. So he starts off with one level 1 spell for base amount,
Mm-hmm.
but there's this little +1 in here that represents that he actually has another thing as well.
My domain spell.
Yes, he has domain spell.
And am I getting
He gets
one
to
extra
choose
spell?
one of his domains. Well, to be accurate, you can choose 2 domains among those for your deity. And let's see. Each domain gives you access to a domain spell at each level you can cast from first on up, as well as a granted power. Granted powers of both the domain spells selected, so you get to choose one of those 2. So, because this is one of the things that is going to affect him from ever, I do need to inform him of the other domains of Weejoss besides what's listed there.
Okay. I think that was mind was one of them.
Yep. Let's see. We just had death, domination, law, magic, and mind. So you can choose 2 of those, and you get the effects of both. So he technically actually knows more spells than you, though he has the same amount of uses, unless he has a higher bonus.
Well,
wisdom
it's not
score.
what spells you know, it's how you use them and the quality.
To be fair, divine spells generally do suck worse for things like actually dealing damage and shit.
Yep. It's more buffs.
I cast a Korgak. Get him.
So, because it is fairly
It's
important,
effective.
let me see
I want
if
it
I
to
can
be
find a
this
spot that goes over the stuff all right. Nope. That one doesn't go over that. Okay, so you can find the other ones just fine. Let me go see if I can find domination and mind.
Is reference desk back by any chance?
I wouldn't know.
I don't know about that one. So that's from there. I think that's about right.
Doesn't seem like it.
Yep, that is right. Okay. So I'm just trying to get you the things real quick. That's the domination.
Ooh.
And here is the mind, so that you can make a informed decision here, Jack. Besides that, there is death, law, and magic.
Yeah, the book doesn't list either that, so I didn't actually choose either of them.
Did you wish to try and choose one of those? Because this is character creation.
Yeah.
This would be the exception for using stuff outside the
What does
main
spell
book.
focus enchantment feat do?
Yeah, that's just because he actually has a character that needs to know some of what could come up later. Because I'm going to allow the books later on. It was just for character creation purposes.
But yeah,
Mhm.
what does the domination
So I don't want to
do?
limit something for him permanently like that.
Right.
Yeah,
So it is an exception, not a rule.
epic.
But yeah. So, did you want to go for what ones did you want to go for your domain?
Uh, just checking here. What does the spell focus enchantment do?
Spell focus enchantment. If I remember right, you consider your spellcaster level at a +1 or 2. I don't remember which number it was. For enchantments.
Do I have many of those?
Uh, I think most of those were for like buffing and such.
So, but for buffing, I don't use saving throws
What was
because
that?
they're buffing.
No, it considers it as if you were a higher level. So rounds per level, uh, things like, lasting longer, being harder to resist, things like that. And if it had some kind of dice effect, that would increase as well. We'll double check real quick. Doesn't matter. Pretty sure that's what it did.
Caster level on all enchantment spells if you have 6 hit dice.
Bonus on save DCs against specific magic. Spell focus. Add +1 to the difficulty class for all saving throws against spells from the school. Okay. So that would be like things like sleep and shit. So not generally particularly useful.
There's another thing. Apparently, D&D wiki says it's if you have 6 hit dice, you have +1 caster level. with that feat.
For what feat?
I'll link it. Might just be flat out wrong, but
Oh, that's a 3.5e, dude.
oh. 3.5.
For description, 3.5e is stands for 3.5 homebrew.
Ah.
So if you see something that says 3.5e, be aware that's not coming from anything. Somebody just thought it was a good idea and wrote it down.
That's not stupid. How useful would mind domain be?
Let's see. If I remember right, that one let you read thoughts and shit, didn't it?
Oh no 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 no.
You'd get comprehend languages, detect thoughts at level 2. You get +2 bonus
I don't
on will
consent.
saves, +2 bonus on bluff and diplomacy and sense motive.
Yep.
That doesn't sound bad.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's
sounds-
very powerful, but utility-wise, that's pretty interesting.
That sounds absolutely horrible. What are you talking about?
I
think
approve
might
of this,
take
Jack.
So, how good is magic comparatively with law?
Well, I need to go find where the domains were in.
Law
This.
domain gives my +1 caster level with all law spells.
Yes, so let's see. Cleric domains.
Page 189.
Death domain lets you have the granted power of touching somebody and possibly killing them. Good to know.
Yeah, but it's not that actually good.
It's not really that good per se, but it is an interesting thing. You also have cause fear, which is generally pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Death knell, which is all right. Animate dead, which is great. And yeah, as a cleric, I need to. I'm pretty sure you still need to do the material cost. But I think there was something special about you. I don't remember what though.
What?
So death domain is, as you would expect, generally either a bunch of death stuff or preventing death stuff, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, you have the knowledge domain, isn't that right? Knowledge as well.
Yes, I do believe so.
Death, domination,
No,
law,
actually,
magic,
knowledge is not
mind.
included in
Yep, knowledge is not in there. Why do I think knowledge is in there?
because Vecna
I
has
feel
it.
like knowledge was somewhere in there. One moment. Just domains. I could have sworn we just had. Oh. Death, domain, magic, mind. Yep, that's it. Okay. So yeah, not knowledge.
Yeah.
Surprising. I thought she had it for some reason. Oh well. But go back over here. So we're looking at law.
Mhm.
You cast law spells at +1 caster level. That's what I was thinking of. It's alright. I wouldn't say anything in law is really good though.
I'll probably honestly pick up mind and death.
Mind and death. Never a bad thing. Let's see. What did magic do for you? Could get identify.
Yeah, that is true, but
Ooh,
Yeah,
that is useful as fuck.
I'd
You
rather
could
not
use
spend one of
scrolls.
my slots on identify.
You could use scrolls, wands, and other devices with spell completion or spell trigger activation as a wizard of 1/2 your cleric level, at least first level. For the
I mean,
purposes of using a scroll or other magic device, if you're also a wizard, actual wizard skill. Okay, so you can count as half a wizard.
yeah.
I mean, mind and magic.
Sadly, it's almost completely just being an anti-magic cleric.
Yeah.
Let me know when we can take a break when you're at a natural splitting point.
Okay.
So, would you say death is better than magic, or would you say magic is better? Because
Jackal, one of the viewers, suggests using it to extend into things you couldn't get as a cleric normally.
true, probably a good idea.
So I would generally say, based on what we're seeing, the mind domain is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, I would put it as a toss up between domination or death. Domination would let you do things like more mind control kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's the spells over there are just generally really good.
Yeah.
And I think all of those are enchantments, which is why you get the spell focus enchantment bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Doesn't he need
Probably.
his undead to consent?
Yes.
Yeah, why about it?
Just checking.
Yeah, no,
It
no
would
resurrected undead.
make the death domain a little bit worse because you are generally going to have to find willing people to bring back.
Yeah.
And it has to be enthusiastic consent, Jackal, or not just asking the already dead body and not hearing it say no.
I mean, he would almost be required to take the cleric spell that lets him speak to the dead before he could ever bring them back.
So we really need a zombie right now, and I know that it's like tortures for you to be brought back as a zombie, but please.
That's why you always have some hardlings which you have a contract that if they die, I can raise them from the dead.
Demi, that is a horrible joke. Fuck you.
But yeah, I would personally probably say that generally domination and the mind domains are probably the best ones to select.
Yeah, I agree.
Command, Thrall, Suggestion, Dominate Person, Command Greater, Suggestion Mass. Jesus, fuck, man.
I think
Yeah, he's
I'm gonna
he
split
gets to
here.
become Ventru. This would be a
Yeah.
we're yeah, this is a decent time to split.
And then Jackalor can actually run us over what he actually took.